And we're live. We are live. Think we're live.
Fire.
Yeah. Let's see. Um let's just make sure we're live. Yeah, we're live. What up? What up, Max? Yo,
What's up?
the first thing we should do, we should make sure that we could hear the audio, cuz it's happened to me before where I'm like 10 minutes into the podcast
Oh man, and nobody can hear
and
the
no
the
one can hear the
sound.
audio. So let me make sure you hear this. All right, let's see. What up?
Yep.
What up, Max? The first thing we should do, Oh, we're good. Cool.
Tight.
Um, yo, so what is this, dude? Like, what's going on? What are we even doing, bro? Like, who are you? Who are you? Why are you even here?
Dude, I don't know. I'm some weird kid from Kansas.
mm,
No, I'm Max. I am partnering with you to do this thing called OM53. Um, yeah, I'm a an artist, a producer, mix engineer, um, kind of a renaissance man of the creative arts,
mm,
as I've had to learn how to be to do all the stuff that like a label usually does for an artist. But world of underground music, specifically underground Christian music, because we are both believers. We're both making music in this space to glorify God and also to hopefully reach some people who don't identify very very well or very easily with like the mainstream Christian scene.
yeah. Yeah, well, I would like to say that more importantly than all those things you said, you're a friend. You know what I mean? You're a friend, and definitely turning into a brother. God put you put you here in a very special time in my life. So obviously we're super stoked to talk to people. We already have one comment. Alicia says, "Yay, hi, God bless you guys," with a bunch of emojis. We got Mana and Quail saying, "Shalom, me homies. May Yah bless your
Fire.
music." Yep. So bless you guys too. So this is Max. I'm Chris. We're OM53. We're a nostalgic duo. We're like everything old with a little bit of new stuff. And as you guys know, you've been following like our music. Um, we have new stuff. We have new music. So um, let's get right to it. So we obviously have a new album coming out in October, and there's already like two singles out. There's "Letting Go of Yesterday." That's like I guess the song right of the album, the 7 song
Yep.
project.
The
We
title
have
track.
title track. We have "Call Me Friend." We have Holden Caulfield coming out next Friday. Super stoked about that one.
So why did we name it Holden Caulfield? Because to anybody who hasn't read Catcher in the Rye, that's like kind of a weird off the wall song title.
Yeah. So obviously, um, it's not it's not random. It's not just because. So Max is a huge fan of The Catcher in the Rye. I had to read it in school because they made me read it. I was not a good student at all, so like I read like some parts of it and the rest I like YouTubed. But I really agreed with the character with Holden Caulfield and him just believing that pretty much like everyone's fake. Everyone's fake. Everyone's just trying to put on a face for others to like them, and I see myself being judged by Holden Caulfield in that song. Holden Caulfield is a song where in the first verse you see this individual that's like trying to be this person, that people want them to be, that seems responsible, has all their bills paid. It's kind of like looking down on people, saying, "Hey, like you got to get your crap together because I have it together."
Right.
Um, and he clearly doesn't. He clearly doesn't. Not just from the financial side, or growing up or any of that. He's very insecure. He's very insecure. He wants to be somebody. He wants to be liked. He wants to feel useful more than anything, and that his life has a purpose. and he's very insecure about all that stuff. And then, a little bit later down in the song, as you guys will be able to see, like he gets more honest. He gets more honest about like his struggles and the things that he really is, and in the chorus that happens further in the song, God kind of comes and speaks to him and kind of tells him, "Hey, like I know you're wondering, have you done enough, in life? Like are you enough? But like the only thing that really matters is where are you going once this life is over." So it's a very simple song, but this is gonna be pretty cool track, pretty cool album, and just stoked to be here. So we have another uh, comment. We have Luis Fernando Caballero. It says "Bendiciones hermanos," which means blessings, brothers. We have a lot of like Latin American fans, and
Fire.
we
I'm very not. I'm very white. I don't understand
I'm
Spanish.
very white, but like now hanging out with me, definitely now you ate Portuguese food, which was super
Yeah.
dope.
Yeah.
So that was your introduction to like not white stuff. So we'll see. We got Alicia says your music is awesome. Love your style. Thank you. Eduardo says God bless you. Love your music. And we have another one that says LOL. I got by in school, but really didn't enjoy it. I didn't go to college. Instead, became a cosmetologist. Well, let me tell you something. Cosmetology, and people who cut hair, like they'll have a job forever, dude, forever.
Uh,
Um, and we got another one that says my kid's youngest four oldest 15 walk around singing your songs, which that means a lot.
that's fire.
That means a lot. We try to make music for anyone, whether it's kids, whether it's older people. I know there's even like way older people that like are into what we. So Max, a little bit about this project. Um, what could you tell people to expect? Like,
Sonically, thematically, what aspects?
let's say sonically.
Cool. So sonically, this project pulls a lot from like Tame Impala and MGMT. I'd say those are probably the two biggest influences as far as what the music sounds like. There's quite a bit of like Latin dance influence on that, especially with some of the percussion, some of the chord progressions. Um, yeah, I'd say that's kind of the direction we're moving. A little bit away from like the bedroom pop sound, and then like the synthwave stuff that OM started out making.
Mm-hmm.
But it still makes a lot of sense. It doesn't feel like a totally different project. There's still a lot of analog synth sounds. There's a lot of like really chunky, fat 70s analog drum sounds. There's a lot of funky bass lines that are a lot of fun. Yeah, this project is going to get people dancing for sure.
Dude, I showed my buddy some of the songs the other day, and he told me that it reminded him of Toto.
That's fire.
Mm-hmm.
I never would have put that as an influence, but that means we're doing something right. Because
Yeah,
yeah, Toto's great.
and he showed me this song specifically, so hopefully we don't get like this thing taken down. But let me see. Um, where is it? Oh, here.
Yeah, I hear it.
Right,
Oh yeah, dude, that's
dude.
spot
Are
on.
we Totoing, dude? We are Totoing, dude.
Is Toto a duo or are they like a full band?
I think they're a band. I mean, I think they. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I know when they play
I,
live, they're a huge band.
yeah,
Um,
I might
so
be. I'm thinking of Tears for Fears. Never mind.
no, Tears for Fears is a duo for sure.
Yeah.
Um, but what was I gonna say? Um, yeah, we're definitely Totoing, and I mean, I've always been a fan of Toto, and I never put those two together.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty sick.
What other influences would you say like people are gonna recognize like immediately?
To be honest, when I was working on the stuff that I was working on producing for this album, I was taking like one or two influences and kind of letting my own natural instincts run wild with them. So I am not totally sure what influences people are going to hear, but there is a lot of stuff like that Toto song, like a lot of rhythms and chord progressions and orchestration that is very, very reminiscent of like the late 70s, early 80s sound.
Yes. Yeah, agreed. Um, so we could talk about the album a little bit more later, but one of the things get on here and talk a little bit about new artists, talk about whether it's Christian, and kind of react to some things, and just kind of hang out with our fans in a different way, for sure. Um, so we have video that we're gonna react to in a little bit, but before that, obviously, what everyone's talking about right now is the situation that happened with Forrest and um,
Cory Asbury.
and Cory Asbury. So um, I don't know how you feel about that. Like the people that don't know, like people in the comments. I don't know if you guys are the ones that are watching. Like, how do you feel about that whole situation? So basically, for the people that are living under a rock and don't know, Forrest broke his back. Right, it was recorded through his
Like a
house.
ring camera,
Yeah, his
right?
Ring camera, and he was supposed to be in bed for like a really really long time, but like was miraculously healed, and we got to see it like live. We literally got to see it live because he used that situation um, to kind of like write another song and then just show people what he was going through. It's all content, right? So it's all content.
Right,
All of it's content. So
right.
and that's part of that's part of the whole like meme thing, right? Which what happened was, these guys did a parody of a Forrest Frank song. Honestly, I don't know, but I don't even think that they were trying to write a song with Forrest. Like,
No, they were just. So the funny thing about them is I had this idea. I went to see Forrest in May. One of my homies got me guest listed to his show in Kansas City. And after seeing that show, I had this idea to make an Instagram reel that was how to make a Forrest Frank song because I noticed a lot of his instrumentals are super formulaic. They
mm-hmm.
have very similar rhythms and chord progressions, and the trap drums all sound pretty similar. And I sat on this idea for months, and I saw these guys come out with this reel, and I thought, well, there goes my shot. I was going to do this thing. I was going to act on this idea, and they ended up doing the thing that I wanted to do. And then Forrest saw that, being bedridden and on his phone and computer with a broken back. He collaborated with them, and they made the song. Like, he got on the song that they had made,
Yeah,
and they released it, and it blew up.
and it blew up, and it's that Lemonade song, right? Um,
Right.
so it was like banger. And what happened is that like a lot of people about the
Well,
situation.
not even parody videos yet, because David Crowder broke his leg, tagged Forrest in something, and said, "Hey, Forrest, I'm injured too. Let's make a song together."
Well, yeah, but I'm saying before that, like just regular people, not even doing it
Right.
too, right? So it was just like kind of like a joke, but I don't think anyone was making fun of Forrest's situation, like actually making fun of his situation.
No.
It was just like, oh, I guess this is how you make a banger. You get injured, right? And I even saw some like Christian artists, like they were like, oh, like I guess I gotta get injured, right, to get a hit.
Right.
So then
Right.
we found ourselves with Crowder. Crowder broke his leg. Crowder did one of those like parody videos, but it was still kind of lighthearted, right? It was lighthearted, and then
Hmm.
it's hard to tell how much of it, or if any of it was scripted or not, right? Like I don't know, like it's hard to
Right.
tell. Like I don't even want to be cynical. Nothing. It's just like, because even if it was scripted, it's like, okay, cool. It's still content. It's marketing. Like whatever. Like whether you
Right.
agree with it or you don't agree with the approach, that's fine. Like okay, people do those kinds of things. But now we find ourselves over here, which is where Cory Asbury
So
made.
before Corey did his thing, Matthew West did something too,
Yes,
where
yeah,
he was
yeah,
like, "I broke my pinky, or I sprained my
yes.
pinky, or something,"
Did
and
the rap, did the whole thing,
yeah.
and it
It was
backfired.
definitely it was definitely some dad humor in the first place. Like, I don't think he did it. It wasn't distasteful per se, but it definitely was not funny, at
Yeah, yeah,
least
no, it was
to my
straight up. It was straight up
sensibilities.
just dad humor. It was dad
Yeah.
humor, and like the rapping was okay, um, but again, now we find ourselves with the Cory Asbury situation, which Cory's humor is not dad humor. Like his humor
No.
is like comedian humor, where as he says, and I've seen for a while, like he says, yeah, dude, like being in Nashville for so long and like within this like Christian like scene, there are people that are one way like in front of the camera like at church, but like outside church are completely different people, and we've seen this,
Right.
dude. We've seen this, like we're not gonna name anybody, but we've seen how people are different, like even like have like disgusting mouths, right, like cursing like up and down, but
Yeah.
then they get up on stage and they're like worshiping God, like whatever.
Right. And
But
with Cory Asbury specifically, I know he came out of a very particular like worship school and culture that felt one way, and then some news came out a year or two ago about the guy in charge of that, and it was really bad, and it caused a lot of problems for people who had been involved. He had abused some people and abused some of his privileges as the guy in charge.
mm-hmm,
So Cory Asbury is just, he's been burned so many times and seen so many cases of people not practicing what they preach, basically, that I understand why he does what he does. It's not, it's kind of cynical, but it's also just like shining a light
mm-hmm.
on what's going on in some of these spaces that everybody thinks are pristine and spotless.
Yeah, and yeah, and it kind of backfired on him because he was just being funny, right? But I mean, at this point, like at this point, Forrest is like untouchable. He is like untouchable. You know, I mean, he doesn't just have like fans. He has like super fans, and
Right.
you know, a lot of people thought what Corey did was funny because again, just kind of like knowing him and understanding him, there was no ill will. But the people who don't really know him or already kind of don't like him because of his humor, like immediately like they were like, oh yeah, like no, you know, like there's no way that we're gonna let him do this.
Right.
So they ran to his Instagram and like, dude, bro, they even made comments like, a person who would make a video like this is definitely a person that has a small penis. Like, bro, like, you know what I mean? Like,
Whoa.
dude,
Okay,
like,
so this also didn't happen until Forrest made a response video to Corey's.
it's a
Was
little bit of both. But
really
after Forrest's video, which that's what we're getting to. Forrest responded, so he responded to to Corey's video in a very, I would say, respectful, but a little passive aggressive, like a little bit passive aggressive, but
it came
definitely,
off like trying to claim moral superiority or like trying to big bro Corey.
yeah, it came off a little bit like that to some people. To some, no, to some, it came out like, wow, dude, like, wow, you are such an example for everyone. Like, everyone should be like you. And this is, dude, like, uh, Brandon Lake, a bunch of other people were like, oh yeah, like like class act, like you know, kind of like you were the bigger man in this situation. And I don't even
Mm-hmm.
think anyone needed to be the bigger man. But the point is, now because of that video, because of the video that Forrest Frank made, like a lot of people went to trash Corey, to unfollow him and a bunch of other stuff, and it really backfired on him. Now we can
I've
say,
heard Corey made a response video. I have yet to watch the
yes,
response video. I
we'll
was
get
just talking to my friend, and yeah,
we'll get there. We could pull it up. We'll get to that thing, but before Corey's response video, which was yesterday morning, um, some of my thoughts were that um, I think Forrest knew. I think Forrest know that if with his response video, like all of the backlash that Corey was gonna face. So I don't know if that was the wisest thing to do. Maybe contacting him privately could have been better. But whatever,
right.
like I mean Corey's videos was public, so I mean Forrest's response being public also like could make a little sense. I don't know
But
what
I
you think.
think if it's an instance where your feelings are hurt and you need to reconcile differences between you and a brother in Christ, you probably should approach that privately before you make it public.
Yeah, I think it's probably even to clear the air, because like, maybe they were able to, like, Forrest could have asked them, hey, how did you mean this? Were you really making a joke, or do you have a problem with me? And then Cory could have just cleared up, being like, no, dude, it's just because it's a meme. Like, right now, it's a meme.
Right.
And then he didn't have to make that passive aggressive video now with the song. But let me see if I can pull up Cory's response. Um, what an interesting time that we live in. And the fact that we're talking about this, but hey, we're talking about anything, so.
Yeah. So in Forrest's response video to Cory Asbury's like meme, he was like, "Hey, it feels like you're making fun of one of the most traumatic experiences my wife and I have ever had to face, but I'm gonna write you a song anyway." And he wrote a song offering to let Cory Asbury collab with him that was like a slower acoustic song about being misunderstood, basically.
Yeah. So that's what it was. And then he said, if you want to play ball, like, we can play ball. So let's pull this up and let's listen to his response.
Your video, man, my phone has been absolutely blowing up, brother. Let me take this opportunity to say I apologize, man. I never meant to poke fun at anything that you were going through. I don't know if you've noticed this lately, but you've been kind of blowing up, and your content is almost a template to have fun and create. So everybody's jumping on it. I experienced this with Reckless Love, people sort of coming out of the woodwork to attach themselves to that, to get some views and some likes from it. So, bro, I apologize for being one of those people. I heard your song, and I think it's really powerful, man. I'm down to go there with you, bro. If I may, I'd love to just pull back the curtain a little bit. I've seen all the comments, he's a heretic, he's going to hell, he's a wolf in sheep's clothing.
Dude, the pads. Why do we have worship pads happening?
For never introducing
I can't hear it at all.
Oh, wait, you can't hear it at all?
No.
Dog, tell me, dog.
My bad. I was just reading the captions. I didn't know if you could hear it on the YouTube stream or not.
No, I got you. Let me fix this for you. My bad, bro. My bad.
No, you're good.
I guess I can share my screen here. Share my screen. Instagram. All right, let's see. Can you hear this now? Right there.
Man, my phone
Yeah.
has been absolutely blowing up, bro.
Let's try that again.
Let me take this opportunity to say I apologize, man. I never meant to poke fun at anything that you were going through. I don't know if you've noticed this lately, but you've been kind of blowing up, and your content is almost a template to have fun and create. So everybody's jumping on it. I experienced this with Reckless Love, people sort of coming out of the woodwork to attach themselves to that, to get some views and some likes from it. So, bro, I apologize for being one of those people. I heard your song, and I think it's really powerful, man. I'm down to go there with you, bro. If I may, I'd love to just pull back the curtain a little bit. I've seen all the comments, he's a heretic, he's going to hell, he's a wolf in sheep's clothing, this and that. And maybe that's my fault for never introducing myself to y'all in a deep way. This is no excuse, but I grew up in a home where it was rough. A lot of things going on, a lot of screaming, a lot of yelling. When I use comedy as a way to lighten the load of life, bring levity to an otherwise heavy situation, humor has always been a big part of my life. It's helped me make friends, and I'll admit that there's been times that I've taken it too far, and I'll own that. But what I have is a high value for honesty and transparency. Living here in Nashville, I see a lot of people that are one way behind closed doors in a completely different way with their friends. It's always been a goal of what you see is what you get. That's no excuse. I feel misunderstood as well. And I can see the bigger picture here. I know that I brought this on myself. If I were to write a verse on this, it maybe be something like, sometimes words cut so deep, it's hard to be kind when anger's all you've seen. The shadow of home can stretch long through the years, covers up the sunshine even when the sky's clear. 'Cause it's okay if you feel misunderstood. There I can forgive somebody too. Forrest Frank, I saw your video, man. I phone.
All right. Well, first of all, that guitar sounds awesome, dude. I don't know how you feel about the whole thing.
I have mixed feelings. I think it's very easy for me to be cynical of anything going on in the upper echelon of Christian music. And there are parts of that that do feel like this situation was almost intentionally put together. Like it might have been a little bit scripted. And it was a big lead up to this collab song with Cory Asbury that they may have had planned, unless thing, and it's totally authentic. Um, but I don't know. I think that like a real side of himself that you don't get when you only see his comedy content. Um, and I think the content of the song, like that style of music or not, is good.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know, man. I don't like this whole thing. I don't like I don't like any of it. I don't like this. I don't like and I don't want to sound bitter or any cuz you know what's the thing, I was talking to a buddy the other day about like Forrest Frank and like some of his music and whatever. And I feel like it's easy to sound like a hater, or it's easy to sound bitter, or there were some comments on Corey's original video saying like, oh, like um he's just mad that he doesn't have your success. So I feel like anything that you say about Forrest or any of the situation is gonna be interpreted potentially as like, oh, because you don't have Forrest's success, it's because you are
Right.
you're a little bit like jealous of his success, which it's not. But we could definitely talk about this some other time,
Yeah.
and really like dive into that for sure. But think first of all, thanks so much for being here. Like it means the world that like we're just like chatting here and you guys are here with us. We are OM53. This is Chris and Max. Max is my buddy from Wichita, Kansas.
Yep. Middle of nowhere.
Middle of nowhere, right? There's nothing. There's no Spanish food, no tacos, no nothing.
We got tacos. We got a lot of Middle Eastern food.
Okay, Middle Eastern food. Okay, I would love to go out there and see what kind of tacos you got. Like if they're like good tacos or like, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Sometime we'll have to get you out here.
Yeah, we'll do it. But yeah, so thanks so much for being here. We got comments like OM53. I rock your music when handing out tracks.
Sick.
Love you guys. Great music and great art you put into your music. An inspiration to me. I can hear you. I can hear. Love this. Such a vibe. Thank you, Mariah. You're the best. You're absolutely the best. So yeah, man. I don't know. Do you want to talk about? I think we should talk about a little bit about like Forrest Frank, right? Like, how do you feel?
Yeah.
How do you feel about like the music? Because I'll tell you how I feel about the music, and the people here in the chat, please let us know. Do you like Forrest Frank's music? Are you a musician? Are you just like a consumer? You just consume music. Do you like Forrest Frank music? Do you not like his music? If you do, why do you like it? And if you don't, why do you not like it? Okay, I'll tell you something. I think Forrest Frank's music is good music. Okay, now the thing is, that is a very subjective thing, right? It's very subjective because some people think Pink Floyd sucks. Some people think AC/DC sucks. Some people don't even like John Mayer, right? Or think Coldplay is bad. So music is very subjective. The thing,
Yeah.
we can have the argument of, well, how difficult is it to make that music? Is it very formulaic?
Right.
Because
And what makes music good? Because I think that there's a lot of difference in opinion with that.
yeah, so we can have the argument all day, and I think if you and I find an artist that we think is like intricate, or like their music is difficult to make, and like the art is at a different level, there will always be some other musician or artist that'll look at it and be like, you think that's difficult? Well, look at this, right? So that I feel like that'll never end.
Right.
So the point is, I think it's good, and the reason I think it's good is because there are a lot of people that like it. There are a lot of people so that means a lot of people think it's good. Um, it's catchy, it's easy. There is a crowd for it. I think kids love his music, bro. My son loves his songs. So whenever I put his songs on, I think he loves the beat, right? He loves the beats.
Right.
His beats are easy, right? To bop to, you know. If you tell me that that a Forrest Frank song comes on, and maybe you're not like already like over Forrest Frank, but if you've never heard it before and like you're just kind of chilling, like your head'll bop. You maybe you tap your foot because the music is catchy, but I
Mm-hmm.
think it's music that's easy to listen to. Kids like it, youth groups like it. I think soccer moms, soccer dads like it, and I think there's a place for it. You know, um,
Yeah. There's a
now.
couple comments on in the chat that raise good points. Pep in My Step Music says it's like he's the next Toby Mac. I remember telling my wife the same thing.
Mhm.
It seems like he's this generation's Toby Mac.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Yeah,
See, there's something about hidden artists that is great. Um, Valid
him
Court.
being compared to Christian hip hop and stuff. That's far. So that's a really interesting point, right? Because there's a lot of really different things going on in like Christian hip hop right now. Like some of Forrest's earlier records with like No Big Deal. He's got that song with Hulvey. He is hip hop adjacent, but I don't know that I would call him a hip hop artist. He's a pop artist. He's a Christian pop artist. And I think his music has a function, right? It appeals to a very particular crowd that needs positive messaging in their music, especially when the secular alternative in music that sounds like that, like the same sorts of drum beats, the same rhythms, same feeling that you get from that music is very negative, right? It glorifies a lot of sinful lifestyles, drugs, parties, violence, sex, etc., etc. And I think that the pop music world, the consumer base for that kind of music, really, really needs positive messaging in their music, and they really need to be pointed to Jesus in the music that they're listening to. However, as an artist myself, as somebody who even before I started making music and like considering myself an artist, I really, really cared about music and I really cared about the skill and the artistry that goes into the music. And to me, Forrest's music is like fast food.
Mhm.
It tastes good, it's okay for every once in a while, but you only eat fast food or you only listen to music like that, it's going to kind of dumb you down a little bit. I think his music is so simple, not necessarily shallow. It's just so simple and repetitive, and it doesn't display a ton of like really, really good musicianship. Um, but I think that's a really interesting distinction. Like I went to see him in May of this last year, and live, it's a totally different story. The musicians he had in his backing band are some of the best musicians I have ever had the pleasure of seeing live. Um, and I don't know. I think there's like it was good to be there, and the Lord is moving through him. There's a reason that his music is
Mhm.
so popular everywhere and it's invading like the secular charts anymore. But I also think that it's okay to not like what he's doing.
Yeah, because again, music is subjective. Like you can't say like, oh, if you don't like it, you're a hater. Because that's not the case. But yeah, so I guess we can talk about that obviously more some other time. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good comments. It says I like Surfaces, right? I guess that was his band before, right?
I
Uh,
never listened to Surfaces.
it's the same exact thing. It's the same
Really?
exact thing, except like the lyrics are different. Dude, listen to Surfaces like after this
Okay.
comment. I like Surfaces better than Forrest Frank personally. His Christian stuff is starting to feel more and more like a grift. I hate saying that, but that's how I feel.
So seeing him in person, I don't think that his Christian stuff is a grift at all. I think he's genuinely invested in what he's doing, and he loves the Lord with all that he is. Like he is 100% sold out for Jesus.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah, it comes off weird to some people.
Mm-hmm. So, Pep in my step music. Let me answer this. Says real question though. How can we support you directly, like Patreon or buying it on Bandcamp? So Bandcamp helps us a lot. Obviously, then you get to keep the music. We are starting the Patreon soon. Max and I are doing this for a living. Like we're doing music. This is what we do. So for us, being here, it's super dope. But it's also like work. So we're working on some tiers on Patreon to see if you guys could support us in whichever way you want. Whatever tier works for you guys would mean the world to us. So the Patreon link is like if you go to our Instagram and you click on that link, all the way at the bottom there's a Patreon one. This is support. There's two tiers right now. There's a $30 a month one that helps us use that money towards the album. If we're like whenever we're gonna create anything, it goes towards that. Or the $5 a month indie kid, which you just like supporting us because $5, it's cheaper than Starbucks, tbh. So actually,
What
dude,
are all the expenses that go into an album? Because it's more than, I think a lot of people don't realize, it's more than just getting the music written and recorded.
yeah. So the mixing and mastering, which is time consuming, and depending who mixes and masters it, it's more expensive. There's travel, for sure, because Max lives in Wichita, and whenever we have to get together, he has to. We have to get him all the way out here to Jersey, so that obviously we could work together in the studio. Because one thing is to do it like remote, but we still like to sit down together. Also for shows, for example, in October we're going to do a live recording of the album, and that's going to require some money, and obviously trying to get Max over here from Wichita, and if we need another musician or whatever, like all that, it's money. So all the support that we get from you guys financially goes towards that, and obviously our bills because we got to pay bills. But I feel like that that
There's
that.
getting merchandise made,
Mm-hmm.
which is a work in progress right now. Merchandise, and that's not just getting the shirts printed. That depending on what you want to do for graphic design, that could be paying like a contracted graphic designer to do the work, paying to get the merch made, paying to ship it out. Um, if you're wanting to do any physical copies of the music, vinyls or CDs or tapes or whatever, that's an additional thing. And then there's any shows that will come along with this,
Yeah.
whether or not we're going to do like a full old school tour cycle for this album. It doesn't make sense right now, but there are a lot of other things that go into, like a release rather than just
Yeah.
like just making the music. There's marketing there.
And we're
Yeah.
trying to make it work. But thank you so much for asking. That means a lot. So moving on from the Forrest Frank situation with Cory, we could say that just the whole situation. I don't know. Some people see it as a positive thing, like, oh, this is great. Like now we see two men of God kind of like come together and whatever. But I think all of it's like I don't like it. I hate all of it. But we're gonna move on over to a Ruslan video. Ruslan got to interview Rodney Jerkins, who is the founder of what's the name of his label? It's the one that I'm Rescued is in. Jordan Keith is in.
Oh shoot.
Aliens Alive.
Yes.
Yeah, Alliance
I didn't know.
Aliens Alive. I don't know how to say it.
I didn't know Aliens, or sorry, I didn't know I'm Rescued was part of Aliens Alive. That's
Yeah,
fire.
yeah. He
Keith's thing, isn't it? Aliens Alive.
Well, it's not his thing. It's Jordan.
Right.
It's
He's on.
but he's on it. Yeah. So so Ruslan interviewed this man. Obviously, this guy is a legend, not just as Christian, but like in the secular world. He was Michael Jackson's producer. He's Lady Gaga. The what was the lady that passed away? That song that everyone sings? I will always love you.
Bro, I had it and I lost it. That's embarrassing that I don't know that.
Yeah, literally, like her name just left in the
Celine Dion?
No, dude, no. Celine Dion is the one from the Titanic.
Yeah, I always get those songs confused.
Whitney Houston. Whitney Houston. Yes. So he's working with all these people, but look at a little snippet of this interview, and there's a point that I want us to discuss. So just first of all, let me know if you can hear it. Okay. So here we go.
Jesus. I think someone else predominant is going to come to Jesus.
I'm 100% in agreement with. In fact, I feel it so strongly that we're going to see something happen over the next few years where we see a lot of secular artists giving their lives to Christ and literally making albums and singles and things, and we're like, whoa, I didn't realize that person.
But their allure to go back won't be as strong because there's an infrastructure and there's an audience.
Yeah. I think that's what it's gonna be, where it's like, oh, they don't even know that really exists, and then it's gonna be a thing where, okay, this is here, and I could keep doing this and not feel like I have to go back to.
Yeah, I feel like the feeling that this is junior varsity, I think, is probably crippling for the hyper creative person that's competing at an elite level. I think that's a very valid point you make. Yeah. If someone's competing at an elite level and they feel like Christian music is junior varsity versus, hey, like actually the biggest Christian artists are outselling some of the biggest secular artists. Technically, it's even bigger in certain aspects. Technically, how many secular artists are doing stadiums right now? 3, maybe?
Yeah, maybe.
Right? Jay-Z, Beyonce, that together, right?
Maybe.
They're doing stadiums. Who else is doing stadiums right now?
Taylor Swift,
Stadiums?
Coldplay. There's a lot.
Yeah,
There are
I don't
actually
know many
a
people
lot.
doing
I don't know
stadiums.
either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's like, but Brandon Lake and Phil Wickham are doing.
Okay, hold on. That was such an overstatement. Hundreds, like a lot of them. So like
Right.
Taylor Swift, Coldplay, Foo Fighters. I don't know. People in the comments, like, let us know. Literally anybody, right?
Yeah, all of like the major label artists are playing stadiums. Pink, I just have one of my wife's friends likes Pink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep going.
Stadiums. I think Forrest could do stadiums in a year or two, right? So I think the bar has been
Which
raised
he did.
from just a audience standpoint, and that has been cultivated. And now
I think it's going to come from the heart of our heart, the heart posture of worship.
Yeah.
The Bible talks about us worshiping in spirit and truth.
Mm-hmm.
And when we can do that, and Jesus also said, where he be lifted up, he'll draw all men. Not some, not a couple, not a few, not me. All men will be drawn. So stadiums will be like, that'll be like the norm. Once that unify, like my kids were just saying, they were like, man, this feels a little, but Brandon Lake just feels authentic to me. That's what my kid said today, right? Well, look what you just said. Like, he's selling, like, right? And that's when I look at him like, if we had 10 more of that, 10 more of this, 10 now, the norm of it is like, stadiums is nothing.
That's good.
Nothing.
That's good, man.
Pause it real quick. I've got
Yeah.
something. So the feeling of authenticity, right? I think that's a really interesting point that they bring up. I think like secular pop artists aren't trying to identify with their audiences the way that Christian worship leaders are in stadium settings, right? Like secular artists are trying to put on a show. They're trying to make it big and theatrical. Yeah. They're trying to entertain. They're not trying to like identify with the heart of their listener in the same way that Brandon Lake and Phil Wickham are. So I think that's a really good point, but I think that those serve two totally different functions.
Agreed.
Club, where you went in there unapologetic and even corrected Charlemagne and some of the other people about some of this stuff. It was super dope to see you on there.
Thank you.
Seeing John Keith on there, who I've seen, I've known John since 15, 16 years old.
Great person.
Tell me what it's been like this last run of podcasts you've done and being in these spaces where sometimes you might be the.
Okay, I gotta find the other clip that I want to talk about. But basically, the whole thing about you gotta watch the whole podcast. So you gotta watch the whole podcast to understand what was going on. But is that there's the comparison between Christian music, like whenever a secular artist becomes Christian, right? They kind of feel like they like left the elite, and it doesn't matter how good their music is as a Christian, it'll always feel like junior varsity. right? It'll always feel like less. And they were saying, well, we're getting to a certain point where because Ruslan starts talking about how um, Forrest Frank has more streams than Drake on whatever platform that was YouTube, like
Yeah, YouTube
music,
Music.
whatever. Which honestly I think it's kind of like an overstatement. But yeah, maybe the numbers are right now in this moment because of that one
Also,
song.
like Drake fell off. The whole beef that happened between him and Kendrick and J. Cole there for a little bit. Like Drake lost a huge chunk of his following, so I don't think that that's the fairest like comparison to make.
Yeah,
But
it was like an easy grab. So my point is, they were saying that now Christians, because Christians are kind of like head to head with secular artists that they can fill stadiums, like finally Christians are finding the success that Christians should have.
yeah,
And give me a little bit of your opinion on that is like, why does filling arenas, why does seeking that magnitude, right, of attention, why is that success? Why is that, like, okay, like once Christians do that, once Christians are able to pass Drake, fill arenas the way that Coldplay and all of them, or like secular artists aren't being able to, okay, now it's successful, now we're here. And that's why he said, he's like, oh, if we had 10 more Brandon Lakes, if we had 10 more of Forrest Franks, then now like Christians are finally going to be there. Like, why do we have this constant pursuit of wanting to be like that? Why is there this inferiority thing that we feel just because we are not listened to as much as secular artists?
I think it's kind of a twofold thing. I think the first part of it is the idea that for so long the world has been so hostile towards Christians that even Christians who are making good art that would do well get that platform because the mindset of the culture around them is such that it kind of constricts that and it won't let it get to the point of popularity that artists like Forrest Frank have right now. I think the other side of that is, well, I think it's kind of a gradient thing. So you have that issue, then you also have the recognition of so much darkness in the secular music and entertainment industries, and people are getting sick of that. And people from the higher up positions in that industry are coming out and exposing that, and they're getting fed up with it, and so they're leaning more into Christianity. So many celebrities who have accepted Christ over the last 3 or 4 years have cited the intense level of darkness in their lifestyle places as the reason why they were like, there has to be something good. There has to be a greater good because there is such darkness. And then the other thing is, I think Christians are finally recognizing that good art needs to get made by Christians, and they're less afraid to experiment and be creative with the art that they're creating. And they're kind of getting sick of the CCM model. They're kind of getting sick of the industry model that's been a thing for like 20, 30 years within Christian music. And I think all these things coming together, I think it's unhealthy to be seeking success for success's sake, right? I think it's a bad thing to be hyper fixating on statistics and numbers and like how many Christians we've got in arenas just for the sake of filling arenas. But I think it's also something to be celebrated when Christian art that glorifies God is popular enough that you get that many people in an arena who are there to, yes, see the artist that they like, yes, to sing along to the songs that they like, but also to praise the Lord.
Yeah. We have a comment here. It says, longest running superhero RPG. In my honest opinion, there is a definite shortage of Christian music I enjoy.
So I think that raises a really interesting point too, because so much of my favorite Christian music is underground. Like so much of my favorite Christian music doesn't have a ton of eyes on it right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see what else. Yeah, so I mean, I'm done with the Ruslan and
Yeah.
Rodney point. Let's see what else. Any comments that we missed?
Sorry. Yeah,
Starting to
more
see.
more Christianity in the movie industries.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it says Valid Core says Ruslan sent me some free pedals, T-shirt, and microphone, like guitar pedals. Dang, like how do you for Ruslan to send you
That's
guitar
sick.
pedals? Like you got to know the guy or something.
Valacor, put us in touch with Ruslan.
Dude, I would love to chat with Ruslan about a few things, but he's too big. He's too big. He wouldn't want to talk to me. Yeah. Well, I don't know, dude. This has been a great. I don't know if the people in the comments, we have a few people there. Want to say anything before we go? We want to say thank you so much for your support. Thank you for subscribing. I mean, this channel has a bunch of subscribers, and definitely the channel needs a lot of love, and we're going to give it a lot of love. We're gonna start working on lyric videos for the new songs, production breakdowns, even some acoustic versions of the songs, which I think would be really cool. So we're gonna
Potentially
start.
some like giving feedback on people's music if they want that, if that's a thing.
Yeah, we're gonna listen to songs here. Hopefully, we don't get demonetized. Um, let's see what we got here. We got. I personally, as an artist, had to let go of thinking of what other Christians might say and start creating. Giovanni Cirillo says, "Bro, I just started listening to y'all. Love your sound and what y'all are doing. Thank you so much, bro. I like your tunes or Bryson Gray. I don't know Bryson Gray, but we'll look him up. I like your music. You guys are my number one in terms of Christian music. Means a lot." It says Young Oceans is cool too. So he just said for me to shoot him my address on his music review
Oh,
live
that's
stream.
tight.
That is pretty cool. So yeah, so we're gonna put some of these clips on Instagram. I'm gonna put this is gonna stay on YouTube. So once this live stream is over, if you guys can please like the video right now, like it, and then comment on the video afterwards if there are any artists that you want us to like check out and listen to, whether it's Christian or non-Christian. And we're gonna try to do this once a week. I mean, Wednesdays are pretty cool. I think it's like a midweek thing. It's pretty dope.
Yeah.
So thank you guys so much. Ninja World, this is What's New, episode 1 on OM53 TV. Thank you guys so much, and we'll see